Hi again, so welcome to another Computing with Dr. D video. The last video I did was Introduction to Programming and Introduction to How Computers Work. So what I'm going to do in this one is take the flow chart that I showed you in the last video, and rather than discuss the flow chart, which shows you a basic cave game where you're saving the palace from the orcs, confronted you are by monsters like the giant octopus or the huge fire dragon, and you get the help from a witch and a wizard who take you back on a dragon and save the palace. Now, in order to make this logic work, you can see there are pathways. I talked about if and then else statements, and if you go right or left, that's an example of if then else statements. So I'm going to be using those in this program primarily. I won't go into looping or any other tricky programming things at the moment. So the program I'm going to show you is fairly simple, although it does go for a number of lines of code. So I'll show you how I started it, and then I'll show you it running. I'll also show you the code in two different languages. I've written it firstly in the C# language using Visual Studio. You'll see a lot of my tutorials on my YouTube channel, on this channel, about that. But let's have a look at how it starts. So this is a very simple kind of interface you see in Visual Studio, and I've written down some of the text of the game. I won't read it, but you know, the palace is being attacked by orcs, and it says you're given a royal scimitar, but I thought, well, you really need to have a choice of whether you're going to do the game or not. What if you want to kind of bail out and not do the game at this stage? So I thought I really need an if and else statement here. So here I've put one in here. So I've said if answer is capital Y or lowercase y. That's an or, believe it or not, in programming, and in C#. You need to work out to use upper and lowercase letters and how you can do that. Then you're given your torch and scimitar, your sword, and otherwise, if you don't take them, if you answer no, or in fact if you enter anything at all, that game would stop there. But I haven't really got much programming there. So on the next screen I'll show you, I've got a little bit more, but not a lot. So it says choose one or two paths, right or left. Now I'm only just starting to write the program here, but I've started to think, I need something to end the game. So I've got a game over screen where you've failed, and I'll continue to use that throughout the options when people either want to quit by entering anything else, or they make a mistake and they go to the end of the game that way. What I'm going to do now though is bring up Visual Studio itself. I'll bring it over here. I've got it on my other screen, and you'll see what it looks like in its completed form. Now, I don't mean to scare anyone off here, but some of this stuff at the start, all of that's created by Visual Studio. It makes the program into an object called a class. Main is a procedure, or the main method. That's where the program will start running from, so we don't have to worry about that. In the other version I showed you, we didn't even have these. You can start a version in Visual Studio without having that kind of earlier automatically created stuff, but I wanted to make some other methods, as you'll see. So I've got the chat about the game here, as you see, and then I go through here with the right or the left, R or L, and you can go to the lake or the dragon. So I've made a couple of other little methods or procedures, and in programming that's calling different objects or methods, and breaks the code up so I don't just have a whole lot of ifs and else's all in order, which we call spaghetti code, and that's not seen as good practice. So I've tried to put this broken up into little objects. So you can see there's the dragon object, or sorry, I should call them procedures, the dragon procedure, the end procedure, the lake procedure with the water monster in it, and the witch at the end. And basically that's the game. So it's I shouldn't say only, but it's 115 lines. It's not a lot really, and it's not even a lot of writing. It wouldn't be more than probably a page of writing. And basically there you have it. That's the entire program. So let's see how it runs. So the first thing that comes up is it says, do you wish to take the challenge? Well, of course I do, that makes sense. And then I say, okay, am I going to go left or right? I'll pick left first. A huge dragon appears. Am I going to use my sword or run? Well, if I run, he's going to burn me, so I won't do that. Well, in fact, if I use my sword, he's going to burn me. I will run from the dragon. And there's a white witch outside a wooden door. Ask nicely if you can enter or use your sword. What do you think I should do there? Well, let's just do the quick way. I'm going to ask nicely. Politeness is its own reward, she says, and allows you to enter. And you meet the wizard, you jump on a dragon with him, and you go and save the kingdom. So that's the first version. Now I can quit it then. I'll run another one where we meet the octopus. So first of all we'll take it, we'll go right instead of left, and there's a big octopus there. Am I going to use my torch or run? In this case I've made it so that if you run, the octopus will catch you, so I'll use the torch. And octopus fears fire, and therefore you can sneak away, but you've met the dragon now. And again, if you use your sword, which we didn't do last time, the dragon melts the sword and the game is over, you've failed. And so that's the game. So you can play it in that sort of way. Now, I also converted the code into some Python, and I popped it into this online Python tool. I don't know if you can read that website there. If you went directly there, you can run whatever you want in Python. You can write whatever you like. So you've got this full screen here, and I should be able to run the program. So again, here we go. So it's running in Python now. You can see the difference in Python a little bit. It still says print, not console print like it does in C#. And here you've got if without the brackets. Python's a little more concise, a little more abbreviated, and it's very good for text-based stuff. Instead of using void, static void, like they do in C#, it just uses def or define, a new kind of function or method there, and then it breaks it up for us there. And then it has this weird thing at the end where it calls the main method to run that first. But essentially the game's exactly the same, and on this tool here that I showed you, you can run it and see what it's like. So, game's all is lost. So because I said no, let's just run it again. So yes, I want to run it. I can go right, and the monstrous octopus, I can run. I haven't done that before, and it's too fast and eats me. Bad luck, it's all over. I think I might leave that there. You've seen a bit of code today. You've seen how I made my flowchart into a program and convert into another language. But we don't have to worry too much about that. You will not have to write a lot of code. If you want to start though with C# or any other language, go ahead. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube. I'm doing C# at the moment in these tutorials on Computing with Dr. D, so you can follow along if you wish, or you can make a game in GameMaker using drag and drop where you don't write any code at all. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.